So to answer some of the questions, the first question, what dispositions do you possess that you think will make you a better teacher? Well, I think one of the qualities that can help me become a successful teacher is that I am aware that each student is their own individual. So with that, I can adjust my teaching methods to help each student understand the materials better. I also strongly believe in the golden rule and karma, so I will treat my students with respect and to teach them to treat each other with respect as well. I also believe that if I teach my students how to treat each other with respect, common courtesy, and help them understand that everyone has their own history, this can also prevent bullying in not just my classroom, but outside as well, because I have absolutely zero tolerance for bullying. I think that this could, be some of the main points that can help me start becoming a successful teacher who can impact her students' lives. The next question asks, what disposition do you need to work on before you enter a classroom as a first-year teacher, and to provide some examples. The first thing I would need to work on is getting over that nervousness and anxiety of actually being the first-year teacher. I think I would need time and experience of actually being comfortable in my classroom and the students. And that time and experience will help me overcome that nervous and anxious feeling. Another thing I would have to work on is classroom organization to figure out how I would want to make my classroom flow and provide a comfortable and safe learning environment that can help enhance the students' learning. I also have to figure out how much workloads to give, try different techniques to find my own teaching methods to what works better, which lessons to prevent, and how to make it engaging for my students. All of these would be able to be figured out over time as I do many trial and errors and receive a lot of advice from other experienced teachers and mentors, just to kind of play around and see what works best for me. The third question, how do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences to build stronger relationship with students and families? And how do potential bias affect teaching? Like I stated before in the first question, because all the students are different and everyone processes information differently, I would have to do my best to accommodate to each student, but also be fair to all the students as a whole class. I do understand that everyone has different backgrounds. It could be good experience, bad experience, whatever the case may be. I would like to find a way where we can utilize our differences to help each other understand a little more about each other. Just take the time to learn about one another, just so that everyone knows where we come from. Being biased in a way means also favoritism too, and as a teacher that's a big no-no, because you'd want to be equal and fair to all your students. Being biased in a way, how I see it, disrespects the rest of the students in the class, and it also takes away potential learning experiences from other students because you're more focused on your favorite students. The fourth question is, how do you anticipate using feedback from your annual performance evaluations, observations, and data on student performance to adjust your disposition and teaching practices to benefit learning? Well, I am all about criticism, feedbacks, negative and positive, whatever the case may be. I'm always down for some advice. I would gladly take any feedbacks just to try out different teaching methods that can help me in the most beneficial way to my future students. I appreciate as much feedbacks as possible, especially the first few years of teaching, because let's be honest, I'm not exactly going to know what I'm going to be doing. Feedback is super important to me personally because it's an observation that's coming from a third party. When you're looking at things from a third party, you tend to see things that could be easily missed from the actual person. For example, thinking about the reasons why we have peer review. When we write our essay, we don't see things like simple grammatical or spelling errors or sentence or paragraphs that may sound weird, or just the flow of the essay that, it might be unorganized. But when a peer reads the paper, they're able to point out some advice to help us make the essay better before they reach the professors for the official grade. Same thing with teaching and anything else in life. The more feedback you get, the more areas you know what to work on to further your skills of learning. So those are my answers for the 4 questions that you have. Hope that helps, and I hope that I can keep all of this in mind when I do my first year teaching.